In the very breath of history, there are echoes that never truly fade. Whispers from an age when humanity plunged itself into an abyss of self-destruction. The Great War, World War I, a cataclysm that claimed over 16 million souls. It was a conflict born of complex rivalries, yet fueled by a terrifying simplicity, the belief that victory justified any cost. And the cost was, quite simply, everything. But amidst the smoke and the silence, the mud and the blood, there were final utterances. Words breathed in the trenches, whispered into the cold night air, or scrawled on tattered scraps of paper. Pleas that transcended death itself to echo down through the ages. Today, we are not merely telling the story of one soldier, we are going to listen. We will listen to the last words of a WWI soldier, a ghostly plea for peace. A chilling message from beyond the veil that history has warned us about, yet we so often fail to heed. And what you are about to discover by the end of this journey is that the pain of the past still cries out, demanding a profound change from each of us in the present. Do not look away. Have you ever felt haunted by a historical cry for peace? Share your thoughts below. The Great War. It began with a fervent belief in honor, duty, and swift victory. Young men, idealistic and eager, marched to the front lines carrying not just rifles, but the hopes of nations. Yet, what awaited them was a reality far more brutal, far more absurd than any nightmare could conjure. This wasn't just a conflict of nations, it was a war against humanity itself. The trenches, those labyrinthine scars etched across the European landscape, became the grim stage for an entirely new kind of horror. Chemical weapons choked the very air, turning breath into agony. New machines of war, like the lumbering tanks, devoured ground and lives with terrifying efficiency. It was a brutal dance of attrition, where millions perished for mere yards of conquered mud. A generation was consumed, stripped of their innocence, their futures, and often their very sanity. Over 16 million lives extinguished, countless more scarred, both physically and, more profoundly, within their souls. Each number, a universe of dreams unlived, letters unwritten, and embraces forever lost. But amidst this chaos, amid the deafening roar of artillery and the piercing screams of the wounded, there were moments, quiet moments, moments when the true, universal cost of this madness became painfully clear. And it was in one such moment, on the very precipice of eternity, that a message was etched into time. A message not from a general, but from a soldier. A plea whispered from the edge of the abyss. We may never know his name. He was one of millions, a single thread in the vast, tragic tapestry of the Great War. Perhaps he was a young poet, dreaming of spring. Perhaps a father, longing for his children's embrace. But his final words, whether breathed as a sigh, whispered as a prayer, or hastily scribbled on a fragment of paper, became something more profound. They became a ghostly plea for peace. Imagine his last moments, the chill of the trench, the distant thud of shells, the scent of damp earth and fear. What thoughts consume a mind at such a precipice? Not victory, not glory, but perhaps the agonizing futility of it all. The longing for an end, not just for himself, but for everyone. This was not just the plea of one individual. It was the collective cry of every soul trapped in the inferno. A universal lament for the cessation of hatred, for serenity for the living, and for a future untouched by the shadow of war. It's the desperate utterance of a human spirit pushed beyond its limits, yearning for compassion amidst unimaginable cruelty. Across countless spiritual traditions, the concept of a soul's passage, its ultimate desire for liberation from suffering, resonates deeply. Be it the Buddhist understanding of dukkha, the omnipresent suffering leading to a yearning for nirvana, or the Christian belief in a soul's ultimate return to eternal peace. The core human desire for an end to anguish transcends creed or conflict. But what did this spectral plea truly teach us? And why, over a century later, do we still seem to struggle so profoundly with its timeless message? From the mud-soaked trenches of World War I to the devastated cities of Gaza and Ukraine, the human cost of conflict remains tragically unchanged. The soldier's plea, "Enough!" reverberates across continents and generations, a stark reminder of our shared vulnerability. We are, tragically, still witnessing the cycles of hatred and division. Yet, history is not merely a record of mistakes. It is a repository of profound lessons illuminated by the wisdom of ages. Across diverse faiths, the answers, the blueprints for peace, have always existed. The Buddhist path of metta, loving kindness, teaches that true peace begins within, extending boundless compassion to all beings. Christian doctrine urges us to love your enemies and to seek forgiveness as the cornerstone of reconciliation. Islamic principles emphasize salam, peace, as the ultimate goal, rooted in justice, adl, and boundless mercy, rahmah. These aren't just ancient scriptures or abstract philosophies, they are practical directives for human interaction. They teach us that hatred cannot dispel hatred, only love can. That understanding bridges chasms of ignorance. That forgiveness, while agonizingly difficult, is the very key to breaking cycles of violence and revenge. The plea from that WWI soldier, the wisdom from these timeless teachings, they all converge into one singular, urgent question. Will we, the inheritors of this legacy, finally heed the call? Or will we allow the echoes of the past to merely fade, leaving future generations to repeat our gravest errors? The WWI soldier's plea was not merely a lament. It was a haunting warning, a profound reminder, and above all, a timeless call to action. It reminds us that peace is not an absence of war, but the active presence of compassion, of understanding, of forgiveness. Every small choice we make, every kind word we utter, every act of unity is a brick laid on the path to enduring peace. Let this echo from the past not be just a history lesson, but the very flame that ignites our path forward. A path towards a world where haunted pleas from battlefields are replaced by the chorus of harmony. For as the wisdom of ages teaches us, the seed of conflict lies in separation, and the harvest of peace blossoms from unity. Perhaps we cannot erase every conflict instantly, but every time we choose love over hatred, understanding over prejudice, dialogue over violence, we are lighting a candle. And millions of these candles, ignited by hearts like yours, will usher in a new dawn, the dawn of peace. What will you do today to make this plea for peace a reality? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this video has touched your heart, if it has ignited a spark of hope within you, then please subscribe to Paths to Peace. Share this message with those you love. Together, we will not merely listen to the echoes of the past, but we will actively build a future brimming with peace, compassion, and understanding. The true journey, truly, begins now.